Last season's meeting between these teams was notable for providing more than its share of incident. 6 goals, 3 of them in stoppage time, 7 bookings, a fracas at the end, an FA misconduct charge, and a hat-trick by Dennis Bergkamp, which included the goal of the season. But he hasn't scored at all this time around. Arsenal have had 3 goalless draws on the trot, and so today there's something of a surprise. Christopher Wray is preferred to Nicola Anelka as Bergkamp's partner. Anelka isn't injured. Arsene Wenger simply says it's his personal choice as manager. Tony Adams is rested to allow recovery from his persistent ankle trouble. Steve Bold takes over as captain, and Stephen Hughes replaces the suspended Manu Petit in midfield. Leicester's lineup is that which lost to Middlesbrough and Paul Gascoigne on Wednesday. Emile Heskey has just signed an extension to his contract. Muzzy Izzet didn't train yesterday because of tendinitis, and Steve Walsh is nearly fit, but not fit enough for today. And Pontus Cormack, one of the Premiership's best man markers, has been told to stay very tight to Bergkamp. Last time that Paul Durkin took charge of Arsenal was in the FA Cup final. And after their expansionist football of last year, Arsenal's has been more expulsionist this season. 2 sent off so far. Leicester, by happy contrast, had the best disciplinary record in the entire Premiership last season. And they also boasted one of the best home records. They've only lost once here in the league in the calendar year 1998, and that was against Middlesbrough only on Wednesday. Dixon, is it? And back with Guppy. 3 Leicester players making a run towards the edge of the penalty area, and a header off the post from Izzet. A strip of wood away from giving Leicester the lead, Muzzy Izzet. Steve Guppy delivers so well from that left flank, and 3 Leicester players provided 3 very different options. He chose the right one, and Izzet was unfortunate. Frank Sinclair is up from the back for this. Heskey and Elliott also in that, so too Cottee and Savage virtually on the line. Elliott. Easy to spot with his bald pate, but not so easy to combat at set pieces. Yet to score this season. But his record last season was impressive enough. 7 goals in the Premiership, many of them from set pieces just like that. Vieira. Ray is running along the line of defenders. Bergkamp, this is Parler. Ray's in the middle. There's the cross, the flag's up, it won't count. Ray has been adjudged offside. And I think you can take it that he disagrees. From that angle, I think we can say that the referee's assistant was spot on. So near miss to both teams. Keown. Parler. Hughes. Vieira. Winterburn. Overmars. All too easily away from Robbie Savage. Bergkamp is just beyond the penalty spot. Ray is there, so's Hughes. And this is a shooting chance for Vieira. Ended up nearer Lutterworth than Leicester. Sinclair. Vieira. Wrestled off it by Cottee. Heskey. As a play by Winterburn. Is it? Someone forced to punch. Oh, Cormack misjudged the bounce, and Arsenal could be in here because Leicester only have 2 back. In fact, it's 3 against 2. It's Parler, it's Bergkamp, and it's a good save by Keller. In an awkward place for the goalkeeper, low and just to one side, down by his ankles. Bergkamp was just onside, Sinclair was playing him on, and Keller was agile enough to turn it aside. threat is there for all to see. Hughes to take. Bold. Zagarakis. His foot was up and Christopher Ray seemed to receive a piece of it in his face. One in the eye for Ray. Free kick given against Emil Heskey. I think has hurt himself in the process of making the tackle. Trying to get the ball away from Stephen Hughes. It seems to be his ankle that is giving cause for concern. Of concern for Martin O'Neill, and nearer the camera John Robertson pointing, and Steve Walford, all members of the Leicester coaching staff these days, showing that whilst many things are changing in football at the moment, some things stay the same. 20 years ago this weekend, the two assistant managers today, John Robertson and Pat Rice on the right there in the shades, were in opposition as players. Forest beat Arsenal 2-1, Robertson a scorer with a penalty. Heskey. Conti making a run inside him. It's still Heskey! Oh, I say! From lying injured on the turf to lying in celebration on the turf in the space of 30 glorious seconds. And that, in a nutshell, is why Leicester were so desperate to hang on to him. The power and the pace and the poise and the accuracy against arguably the very best defenders in the country. A great hole opened up and he picked his spot. Such an exciting prospect. It was the stretch by Zagarakis that fed him. But then Bold just backed off and backed off, couldn't get close to him. And Seaman left a gap. Now this is a rare sight indeed, the professorial Arsene Wenger being lectured by referee Durkin. Not at all happy. It was the fact that Heskey came back onto the field of play so quickly that has angered the Arsenal manager. No one seemed to pick him up when he arrived back on the field of play. Corner. Heskey. Is it? Handball by Dixon? Apparently not. Vieira, that's a good pass to Parla. Leicester are stretched. Ray and Bergkamp gaining ground. Good clearance. Into the upper tier of the double-decker stand from Frank Sinclair. And whereas before the goal the game was a little tepid, now it's positively warm. Always a threat from these Arsenal. Keano got the header on inside the penalty area, but it was no great problem for Leicester. Overmars. Keano stayed forward, so has Bold. Still Overmars. Awkward for Keller. And to play off the head of Cotti. But it was a skidding effort from Mark Overmars, and the bounce was difficult in the extreme for the American goalkeeper. Wasted in hope for little Tony Cotti. He's had a few battles with Steve Bold down the years. Is it? Guppy. Four in the centre for Leicester. It's a good ball. This is Muzzy. Is it? Well driven. Appeals for handball. The referee puts his hands behind his back. Still the danger isn't fully away. It's Savage. And that hit Winterburn. And Leicester's players are surrounding the referee, saying they should have had a penalty. Paul Durkin unequivocally said no. Well, that seems clear-cut enough. It was definitely handball. Is it? And he put Heskey in. He had to do it all on his own. Keown is the first object to get past. Oh, the cross for Savage. Came off Winterburn. There's Bold. Well, this is not the cool, collected Arsenal defence that we normally see. Matt Elliott. Lovely delay on the pass. Savage, 5 waiting. Can Leicester make it count? Not the best of centres. Zagorakis. And now it's Arsenal who would have the last say of this first half. 3 against 3. Bergkamp. Parler and Ray in support. Ray pulling away. And marshalled well by Frank Sinclair. Without him, it would have been a free header for Christopher Ray. 6 in the box for Arsenal. Bold. Leicester will be grateful to clear this, knowing that the half-time whistle will go. And something of a rarity at the midway point of this Premiership match. Arsenal are behind. Their manager none too happy with the circumstances surrounding Emile Heskey's goal, but how well taken it was. Arsenal's captain Steve Bold is voicing his annoyance to referee Durkin. It's not been the easiest half to referee. It's been pretty good to watch though. And at half-time at Filbert Street, Leicester lead Arsenal through Emile Heskey's spectacular goal. Arsenal are the only team that Leicester haven't beaten in this current stint of theirs in the Premiership. This would be a significant scalp for them. They started the season well, drawing at Manchester United and beating Everton, but they've lost their last 2 by a single goal. This is Bold under pressure, and that's a corner. Within seconds of the restart, caused by the pressure of Cottee. The usual forces have been dispatched forward by Leicester. Delivered by Guppy. And by Heskey. Awkward for Seaman. The referee's whistle has gone. Assault and battery on the goalkeeper, presumably. He took off before Seaman. Blocked his ascent. Hughes. Vieira. Ray. Bergkamp. Good header. Well taken in his stride by Overmars. He seemed to have done the most difficult part. Winterburn. Lennon. Stuart Campbell. Vieira. Bergkamp. On for Anelka. Gloriously delivered. Parler is in the middle this time. Anelka is still going. Maybe took it too far. Dixon. Anelka for a second time. His 50th appearance for the club today. Anelka. It's a corner. Arsenal haven't really used Bold in his favourite position to flick on at the near post. He's much deeper this time. Out of 6 Arsenal players in the box. That was Bold. It seemed to hit his arm. There's Overmars. Well, there's no whistle from the referee, and I'm not surprised that Leicester's players are complaining. Because had Overmars' drive beaten Keller, the goal, I think, would have been given, despite the fact that the ball clearly came off the hand of Steve Bold on its way to Overmars. Referee Durkin has just signalled to his colleague, the 4th official, how much time is to be added on. The This is Hughes. Oh, struck that well! Well, that's a prodigious shot. And a point-saving shot for the champions at Filbert Street. What, 35 yards out? Slight curl, perfectly placed. Keller, no great chance of getting across there. 5 days short of his 22nd birthday. A bolt from the blue for Stephen Hughes and Arsenal. It ends all square. A brief handshake between the two managers. Leicester will feel let down, and Arsenal comparatively buoyant after Stephen Hughes' goal right on the stroke of full-time earned them a 4th successive draw and a share of the spoils at Filbert Street. They were fully extended after Emil Heskey in fairly spectacular fashion had put Leicester into a first-half lead. They will claim that they should also have had a first-half penalty. That wasn't given, and Hughes drew the full revenge as we entered stoppage time. Should you have had a penalty in the first half at 1-0 up?
Well, it seemed to be. Or the players have come in here and suggested that it was a penalty. The crowd's reaction seemed to be, you know, but Paul wasn't playing any, you know, there was about 15 incidents, I think, of handball. Paul was deciding to play an armless game today.
Explain to me the goal that you conceded to Emil Heskey in the first half. He has frightening pace when he runs at you, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's done very well, you know. We'd spoke about him before the game, and we knew he was very strong. Apparently his left foot wasn't very favourable, so the shout was to show him onto his left foot, and you know, he showed us how good his left foot was, so we won't be doing that again.
Does the uncertainty over the ownership of the club have any bearing on whether or not you will sign the extension that's been offered to your contract?
Not at all, no. My word is given, and it wouldn't change anything now.
So even if David Dean and Ken Fry were no longer involved in the future, you would still sign your extension?
No, I would sign the contract with them, and I personally think that they will all at the club be involved for a long future, because this club has a big tradition, and I cannot imagine that even if they sell or if a company comes in and is a partner of the club, I cannot imagine that at one stage the directors would walk out and leave the club.
Well, Arsenal aren't on song really yet, are they? But it's interesting to note they're not unbeaten. They're still unbeaten.
Well, that's right, and I always say that's a sign of a good side, not playing terrifically well and not getting beaten. For example, today they should have been beaten. I mean, Leicester were the better side, had the better chances. I think that Arsenal have got to learn as champions that every game is going to be like a cup final. Each side that they play against wants to beat them because they are champions and double winners. So there's a line, and I think that just at the minute they're getting involved, and it's affecting the performances.
Now, what about Heskey? A fabulous goal with that left foot.
Oh, he was excellent. I mean, his weaker side as well, his left foot. Good shout at that one, show him onto his left foot. But I've said many times in this programme, defenders don't like playing against pace. But out-and-out pace in itself, you can cope with. But when you go pace and strength, then it's a bit more, you know. And then pace, strength and aggression, you get a little bit twitchy. And now, great run this. They all back off, 3 against 1. A magnificent block by Keown. But this is his great strength, running at defences. Now he picks up here again, they're scared of the pace, they back off. And what a strike this is. This is absolutely fantastic. And nobody wants to play against him because of the pace, strength and aggression.
Is he the real deal? Is he a future England centre-forward for you?
Well, I think he's got to improve in his technical ability. His touch and technique isn't the best. I mean, if you compare him to the master, the best player in the Premiership with touch and technique, Bergkamp, he comes up short. This is the right-hand side. Great crossing, good defend by Frank Sinclair. Heskey, same sort of position. You know, nothing special. Then we go into control. Watch this for control. You got it in a sixpence. Fantastic. And then when he comes inside, little ball around the corner. Great play. When it's played into Heskey's feet, this example, first touch, not great. And then the control just lets him down. And then we go into the passing, into Dennis's feet, great ball around the corner to Parlour. Good ball in, but he's raised offside. Played into Heskey's feet. Great turn, causes problems, but again, the pass just lets him down. And I think that if he's going to be a world beater and play for England, then he's definitely got to improve in that side of his game.
You have been comparing him with the very best there, though, haven't you?
Well,
I mean,
maybe that's a bit unfair, but we're here to be unfair, aren't we?
of course, it's a business. But he has actually improved in the last couple of seasons, hasn't he?
I think so, yeah. But I mean, at 21, 22, to keep going and keep on improving, I think is very difficult. I think you've got to learn technical ability when you're 11, 12, 13. But he's still going to be a great player. I just say if he's going to be a world beater, then he's got to improve in that side of his game.